Hi, it's Rachel, the writing specialist here at Chesapeake College's Academic Support Center, and this is a video about TutorTrac for our receptionists. So this is part 2 of a series of 2 videos for receptionists at the Academic Support Center. If you're watching this video first, make sure that you go back and see part 1 before you see part 2, as part 1 shows you more general information and part 2 is a bit more specific. So this video will show you how to deal with writing appointments, such as what to do when a student says that they have come into the center and already have an appointment, and what to do when a student would like to make an appointment for the future. And the video will also show you how to use our ASC Turn-Away Form. So here we are starting at the TutorTrac login screen. All of our receptionists in our Y-Mill campus use the same username, which is ReceptionYMills. And if you're a receptionist in our Cambridge Center, it will be Reception Cambridge. The password can be gotten from a senior staff member, and this will take us to our main menu screen. So, when a student comes in and says, "Hi, my name's Joseph and I have a writing appointment with Brittany," what should you do? First thing to know is whether or not a student has an appointment, you always log the student in and out, which I showed you in the video part 1. So the log in and log out procedure is the same for all students, whether or not they're here for 1 minute or an hour, whether they have an appointment or they don't have an appointment. So every student gets logged in. But there's an extra step if a student says or mentions to you that they already had an appointment and they're here for that appointment. So you would log the student in and out as normal, but as you log the student in and they get to work with their writing tutor, what you would do is you would find that appointment inside of the schedule and make sure that the appointment is marked attended. This would help us keep track in the ASC of how many appointments are attended, how many are canceled, or how many are missed. So you don't need to worry if a student ever misses an appointment, you don't need to keep track of that. If a student does call or stop by to cancel an appointment, you would also go into the schedule like this and mark that appointment as canceled. So those are the only 2 that you need to worry about, if a student cancels or if a student has attended. So let me find a future appointment. How about Wednesday, March 11th? And we'll look at the Y-Mill schedule. So you'll notice that the text is very spaced out here. In part 1, I showed you how to maximize or minimize this text sizing, depending on your own preference. So let's find an appointment. This is an appointment with Sarah, and the student's name is also Sarah. What you would do, say it's 2:30 and Sarah is here for an appointment, you would click on the little blue link that shows that she has an appointment. This will open up a screen. An appointment entry screen. And you can see here that the status is blank. You won't need to do anything inside of this screen except for click on the status drop-down and mark the status as attended. You could see also there the options for missed or canceled, but again, you'll only be marking something as attended or canceled. Oftentimes, after you log in a student, if you go to this appointment, TutorTrac will already recognize that the student is here for the appointment. They'll match the student up, seeing that they have an appointment. So oftentimes, if you go into this appointment screen, it might already be marked as attended, and then you don't need to do anything. But if you clicked attended for the drop-down, you would then click save, and that would complete the process of marking the appointment as attended. The second thing that I was going to show you was how to make an appointment for the future. The easiest way to do this is through the magnifying glass and up to appointments. This will take you to a screen where the student can give you a lot of information about what kind of help they need and what kind of times work for them. And then you'll be able to see all the available times for them. So I'm going to go ahead and use the student that I used in my Part 1 video. You would select the center that they'd like tutoring in, for this video, tutoring at Y Mills. And here are a lot of options for the student. They could narrow their choices by the consultant if they wanted to work with a particular tutor. If they wanted a particular section, for this one I'll say she's coming in for some English help. The reasons drop down. You could fill out all of these or only a few of these. You don't have to fill out them all. This will default to, I believe, 2 weeks. It will show you 2 weeks worth of data. So for the next 2 weeks, let me see all the available times. And this is a very useful function here. Let's say that Cynthia is only available from 9 until noon. You can click and drag these little green bars to the right and the left to indicate what time of the day she's available. And let's say she's also only available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you would gray out Monday, Wednesdays, and Sundays to make sure that only Tuesday and Thursday remain green as an available. By searching, this will show you all of the times that fit in Cynthia's schedule and all of the different tutors that she might choose to work with. See, when we hover over all of these options, they highlight, because if you were to click on one, this would be the process for reserving this appointment, in this case with tutor Tyler. So you would fill out all of the information that you could, say that she's here for help with writing, and that instead of a 25-minute, she indicates that she'd like a 50-minute appointment. You would leave the status blank because she hasn't come yet for the appointment, and you won't need to enter any notes. You would click Save upon this without ever clicking these two buttons. Just click Save. The only other thing to note within this screen is if Cynthia said, I'd like a 50-minute appointment every Thursday from 9 to 10 with Tyler for the rest of the semester, this little button makes the appointment a weekly appointment. So by clicking this one button, you would reserve an appointment for all these dates indicated, which saves a lot of time. But if you pressed it, you'd be making 15 appointments at a time. So make sure that the student wanted to see this particular tutor every week for the rest of the semester. So if you went ahead and filled all this information out and pressed Save, it would give you a little indicator saying that the appointment has been saved, and you could exit out of the box. Then you don't need to do anything else. The appointment's been created, and both the tutor and the student will receive an email notification letting them know that the appointment has been made. So the last thing that I'm going to show you in this video is the ASC Turn-Away Form. To get back to that form, we'll go to Trackman and Main Menu. This is a form that we keep in our main menu screen here, and this takes you to a link for a Google Doc. You would use this Google Doc and click on this link if the tutoring center is so busy that there's more students than there are tutors, and a student says that they're not willing to wait for a tutor, that they had hoped that there would be someone available and that they need to leave now, perhaps to get to a class. So that would be an instance in which the ASC had to turn away a student because they weren't willing to wait or make a future appointment, and there were no tutors available at that time. So by filling out this form, which is a very useful form for us, it shows us what times of day and what days of the week are very busy, that we should probably have more staff available to accommodate a greater student need. So by clicking on this, after a student has left, you would fill this out. You would indicate the location that you are working at, the kind of discipline that the student was looking for help, and the day and time in which the student needed help from a tutor. So say it was Thursday at 9:30 and we only had one tutor and the tutor was already working with someone and the student couldn't wait. You would click this button and press Submit. That's all you have to do because the results go to us, the senior staff members, and then we can analyze them at a future date. So those are the things from this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Please know that I am always a resource for TutorTrac, and I have absolutely no problem at all running over to the reception desk and helping you guys out whenever you have a question. It's always better to know what you're doing. I know that TutorTrac can get a little bit complicated, so feel free to grab me and we can work through TutorTrac together to make sure that you always feel comfortable working within that software. Thanks so much, and glad to have you here at the ASC.